Now I want to ask you, um, when you're does she just squirm all over the place when you're changing her and trying to put clothes on her? Because Cooper's at that stage where the second you put him on his back, he's just trying to flip over as
Mm.
quick as possible. So I kind of like, I try and hold him down in a way that doesn't like hurt him, but like he just starts screaming if he's on his back. So now I gotta like, I've pretty much mastered putting on a diaper when the kid is like ass up in the air and face is smushed down. I'm like reverse diapering right now. Also putting on clothes, reverse style. It's an art, and I think I'm mastering it.
The
Did
clothes
you
are
have
one.
a
The clothes are
yeah,
one thing. I will say that one last thing again.
did you have a problem with that?
Um, so it's funny. That's like a point of contention in our house at all times because I have my method and Megan has hers, and I'm always trying to tell her to do it my way for changing diapers specifically. She's better at the clothing. Megan can get clothing on. Alana's really good, better than I can. But with the diaper, I got that shit down. I got that mastered. But the
Is it
age that
just
Coop
you do it with speed and accuracy, or do you
always
do it
speed.
with grace and kind of go with her? If
Well,
she's rolling over, you can flip it.
all of the above, and there's a certain leg angle that's better for putting the actually like latching on the Velcro part. Like you get their leg up into the side, it actually kind of like makes it so it's easier. But that's when they're relaxed and not squirming. If they're so here's the thing, like where Cooper's at right now.
I'm talking about the squirm, full squirm.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. So the age Cooper's at now is weird because you can't do my method quite yet, but you kind of can. So what I do is it kind of ties into the Montessori method a little bit, and just it dips its toe into it, and also it's just really a cheap trick. Um, I give her
Distract.
some. I give her something to play with. So like we have all these things on the change table, like her thermometer that glows with like a blue light, and like all
Right.
these like little toys and things. And then she always wants to play with something that's not a toy, like Q-tips or the cap to a jar, or the little wipes that I'm talking about. She always plays with that box or whatever it is, or like a bottle of like the baby oil. But what I do now, because she can, once they start sitting up, it becomes much easier because they're in this squirming phase that when they're on their back, they want to just move. They don't, they know they can roll over. So right where you're at is kind of hard to like make them stop doing that. But you want to distract them with the toy first.
Right.
But I've been trying to get Megan to do this and she won't do it because she has her own way. But when I do it, Alanis never cries. And it's the easiest time ever is I'll let Alana sit on her knees or kneel up on the changing table and I let her pick out her toy. And I don't start changing her. I let her sit there and say, "What do you want?" Then she grabs it, she starts playing with it. Then I lay her down. Then she's just distracted with the toy. I change it. Boom, done. Before she realizes she wants to get up, we're all done. And then I say, "All done." And she goes, "All done." And then she jumps up and she loves it. So you gotta like, you don't go
Distraction.
straight into changing the diaper.
Right.
You got to get that distraction. And when he starts sitting up and kneeling up, it becomes a lot easier because you can sit him there and play with him for a second. There's no urgency. You don't got to go fast. Sit him down, let him relax, play with a toy. You tip whatever. You're right there. They're not going to hurt themselves. And give them something they never get to play with. Something new, something that's not an actual kid's toy, like an adult thing or whatever. They love things that are not actual toys. Let them play with that. When they're distracted with that, then lay them down, do your thing. Another thing, I'm glad we're on this, is I'm like I said before in the podcast where I'm all about like the diapers and how to change them. I don't know if you do this, but I think it's key is I stretch the diaper before I put it on. Like I pull it, like
Yep.
stretching out the shirt.
I do that too.
You do that, you give it a little stretch. Megan doesn't do it. I hate it because when
Yeah,
you
because then
put it
you're
on
like,
without that, yeah, like gives them wedgies and
form.
shit. Yeah,
Right.
it's like air
You got to
pump.
make it, or exactly.
Yeah.
And you got to like get all the fluff right where it needs to be.
Yes, yes. So I kind of tug on it. And the last batch of Costco diapers I've had, there's like a pile on the floor of all the ones I accidentally ripped. Either I'm just that strong, or all of a sudden this pack, I just keep doing. I'm doing all of a sudden. It's like, I'm like, oh fuck, I ripped another one.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
you're too strong because
I
I've never
think
done
maybe I'm just really angry fucking diapers. But no,
that. That's probably what it is.
but you got to do the little stretch because then they feel like because the worst thing I hate is when you take the diaper off and they have like those impressions like they've been wearing it's too tight and you see it in their skin. you know, like it's like all red because it's too tight on them. So
Right.
I stretch that out. And I think a lot of people don't do that. And it's like super key for your babies to be comfortable, especially at night so they can sleep through the night. That's another
Right.
thing is to do it then to make sure they're comfortable through the night because the diaper is one of the things that wake babies up all the time.
Right. Right. And yeah, I definitely do the stretch and the distraction. I don't know how I didn't think of that, but
You have to do
that's
it.
I mean, he loves holding on to toys, and the second you get him something, he's chewing on it.
It's only going to
So
become more effective as he is capable of sitting up. Because what you can do is, so my process is I take her in, I put her on her knees, and there's things I just let her choose now, and that's the Montessori thing. You don't have to read all the books of Montessori. The key thing of the entire process is let your baby make choices.
right,
Don't bring them a book to read. Let them choose the book they want to read. Don't give them a color. Let them choose the color. That's it. Just let them choose.
right,
So that alone will make your baby fucking legit more than anything else. Don't fucking tell them what to do. Let them choose it. But I put her down. I let her choose what she wants to play with. She grabs it. She's playing it while she's sitting on her knees playing with it. I'm stretching the diaper. Easy,
right.
standing there, casually joking with her. Then there's no stress. There's no stress.
You guys just have a
Stretch the diaper.
dining table, or are you just like on the ground or the bed or
No,
what?
we have the changing table on top of her dresser. And
Okay.
like this little basket on the side with like the oils and the wipes and the creams for rashes. And rashes are gonna come the more they eat solid foods, the more they get dehydrated, the more they rash. So either you got to
Yeah,
give them a ton of water.
he's definitely had his fair share of he's had one bad rash, and it's I think we were at the wild animal park for a couple hours, and we just didn't change him, and then we get home and like he's screaming, crying, and we checked when we changed his diaper, and we're like, oh shit, and like
Poop.
it was bad where it's like it made me feel so bad, but
Oh,
like
it's awful. It gives them so much
it's
discomfort. It's terrible.
red, and it's like almost even like a whitish because it's just so
Raw.
really it's just like raw, and like it's like acid in the poo and the pee just like eating away at their skin tissues, and it's just oh, shit.
Or they get irritated and their skin is super sensitive. They don't have because they're not producing oils in their skin like we do to
Is
protect
that it?
themselves. So I think yeah, so their skin is like bare. Also, why they can't go in the sun as much, which is I mean that might not be the actual answer, but I know that like as you get older, like your skin will produce oils and protect you from those things, and they don't have that. Like they say, soft as baby skin. It's also super vulnerable. But yeah, those rashes are the worst. And I think it's usually with poop. Like if she has a poopy diaper for like a half hour, 45 minutes, we don't touch it, we don't smell it or something, she'll get a rash. So
Wow.
like the poop itself is like you got to get on that pretty quick. But
Right. But I mean, at night before bed, we like lather them up in Desitin.
yeah,
So that helps a lot. And plus, we're giving them a bath like every night.
yeah,
And before when he was much younger, like much younger, bath time.
bath time.
And when he was much younger, like weeks old, I mean, you can't give him a bath as often. You don't want to dry out his skin. Plus, you got to wait for his belly button to fall off, and then he got circumcised, so you got to wait for that to heal. So, I mean, but since then we've been giving him pretty much every night. Like sometimes if we get home later, then we'll just throw him in bed, change him, throw him in bed, feed him, good to go. But
That also filters into the sleep cycle. So like giving them the bath, coming out, reading a couple books,
he
then
knows
getting
it's
them to
time,
wind
calm,
down.
calming down, ready to sleep.